first of all, I must confess, this is not a good day for me to get on you. That suit, the tie, the pockets.
I know. Yeah,
I must confess.
I know.
You looking sharp.
He brought
you looking
it.
sharp. Now, hold on. Let me also add this. You sitting in my chair looking sharp like that. So why don't you just admit it to America? I'm sitting in Stephen A. Smith's chair. I knew I had to uphold the standard, and that's why I look the way that I look today. How come you can't just do that? Because you know that's what you're doing, right? You know that's what you're doing.
Well, I always tell you when I step foot in the studio, this is mine. This is my house.
Ooh.
This is my house.
Wow.
You're lucky I'm not putting my feet up on the table right here.
Listen, I was just nice. You better not kick your feet up on that table. You better not be that disrespectful sitting in my chair. Don't let me step to you. Don't let me step to you.
All right.
You doing all this and you probably halfway across the country.
He's in Atlanta.
Oh, he in Atlanta. Oh, okay.
And also, Damien Woody, you are the man, but this is Stephen A.'s house. Right here.
Thank you.
First take.
Don't
play in that. Let's get to the topic. Let's get to the topic.
A matter of fact, sit up. Don't lean back. Sit up when I'm talking to you. Go ahead,
All right, Stephen A. All right,
ahead.
enough. Okay, the Rams are going to be trying to avoid losing 3 straight. The 49ers are in a groove right now. Stephen A., let's talk some football. Will the Rams end the 49ers' unbeaten season this Sunday?
I think they will. I think they will because I think Aaron Donald and the crew are going to get to Jimmy Garoppolo, porn star Jimmy on First Take. That's what we call him here. Here's the reality of the situation. San Francisco has been incredibly impressive. I was very, very impressed with Nick Bosa and what I saw Monday night, but that was against Baker Mayfield. I don't think he's better than Jared Goff yet. I understand that Jared Goff has had some troubles, but this guy can put up numbers. He can make the requisite throws. You look at Kupp, you look at Woods, and some of the things that they could do. I believe in them. Gurley being a bit compromised, I think they're going to have to throw the football more. I understand that makes it more of target practice for Nick Bosa and the crew, but I think that Sean McVay will figure out a way to game plan to handle that. I consider this a must-win situation for the Rams. On their home turf, within the division, you lose this game, you will have lost the division game. You'll be 2 games back of the San Francisco 49ers. I think desperate times call for desperate measures. San Francisco is very, very impressive. There's no doubt about that. I give them a lot of props where it's due. Breida, this brother obviously can fly, running 22.3 miles per hour, just blowing by, the Cleveland's defense on Monday night. I get all of that, but I think this is a divisional game. It's usually tougher. They're more familiar with one another. I think that the Rams will respond offensively to the challenge. I don't think Jimmy G will. And as a result, I think that the Rams, it'll be a close game. It'll be hard fought. Don't get me wrong, but I think the Rams will find a way to pull out this one. If they lose, it'll probably be when they go to San Fran. But I think they'll win on their home turf in Southern California this weekend.
Yeah, the fact that they're at home gives me pause, but I'm taking the 49ers to win this game. And by the way, the Niners' right tackle is out, and that affects things too. But the Niners had a really good offensive line, and I trust Kyle Shanahan, even if you have your right tackle missing, like you think run game, right? I trust him to do things to spring his running back. He was doing things with the fullback. He's very creative in terms of how he gets the offense going, and I expect that here. Now, Todd Gurley's not going to play. Todd Gurley got a thigh thing. And the Rams' offensive line has been a problem this season. And against that offensive line, you're taking Nick Bosa. Nick Bosa went after. I don't understand the flag planting thing. He had a thing for Baker Mayfield. Nick Bosa came after Baker Mayfield like it was Night of the Living Dead, like it was a zombie movie. They knocked him down 4 times on one play. He was crawling on his hands and knees and got to the quarterback. That dude was possessed. So you have that kind of mentality up front defensively for the Niners. You're going against a compromised offensive line. Play action's not going to be the same without Todd Gurley. I like the Niners to remain undefeated, even on the road, even without their right tackle. Tough game.
Yeah, I'm going with the 49ers as well. Listen, forget the fact that the Rams are playing at home. Listen, the 49ers, the faithful, are going to be representing that stadium. So that's number one. But I know what I have in the 49ers. I think identity is critical, especially now we get into October, November, the latter part of the season. Identity is critical. You know what the 49ers do well? They run the football and they play elite defense. Okay, the one thing about the Rams that we talk about and we've seen in the early part of the season, They've been lopsided, particularly on offense, all right? They haven't been able to run the football. That's really been the catalyst for what they like to do best offensively. They want to run it, and they want to play action pass. But they've been so lopsided as far as throwing the football with Jared Goff. Now you're going to allow this 49ers team, especially up front with Nick Bosa and company, to just tee off on a team that's lopsided, and they got a running game that's averaging 200 yards per game to eat up clock. I'm going to put my faith in the 49ers because I know exactly who they are stepping off the bus.
Well, I don't blame you for that. Listen, they ranked number 2 against the pass, so that definitely gives me cause to pause. Because you, Jared Goff, you got 7 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, only complete 63% of your passes on the year. I can understand how we can look at the 49ers and say, yo, they got this. And I definitely would pick them if they were at home. But I think on the road, being 4-0, feeling themselves a little bit with the level of desperation clearly being in the hands of the Los Angeles Rams. I think this is the kind of game that if that offense is going to show up, this is the kind of game it would. And I think on the defensive side of the ball, I think when you look at Aaron Donald and those boys, just like you could look at Nick Bosa and say they're gonna use Jared Goff, they're gonna go after him like Night of the Living Dead or whatever analogy you use there, Max. What you think Aaron Donald and those boys are going to do when it comes to Jimmy G, porn star Jimmy? I don't know. I think that they're due for a big game. You know how you always talk, Max and Damien, about one of those games where guys win games they should have lost? I think this is one of those games on their home turf in Los Angeles. I think they're going to be up for this game because they have no choice but to be up for this game. Seattle only lost one game, and San Francisco's undefeated. I think desperation is on the Rams' side. Stephen A's been going with a more desperate team all year. He took the Eagles in an upset over the Packers. How much fun is it, by the way, that 2 young head coaches like McVay and Shanahan get to go at it? That's just a fun game. Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.